This is day 394 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This shir is being recorded a bit late. It's about an hour and 20 minutes before the official end of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi day. But as you noticed in the past couple of shurim, I had a severe toothache and had not able to record this shir yesterday, which was Erev Shabbos, because that's when I had the tooth extracted. And slept most of the day afterwards. And now, so it's Motzei Shabbos. Shabbos saying late in the summer, so there's not much time left to get this up officially before the end of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi day at midnight, but we're going to do our best. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, that would be greatly appreciated. Please contact me directly. Today we're doing Siman Reish Sameches Sif Yud Zayin to Siman Ayin Reish Sif Aleph. I think that's the first one we had where it had to be turned around, but could be mistaken about that. Obviously, Siman Ayin Reish in a different universe we call it Siman Reish Ayin, but we try to avoid saying it that way because of the negative connotation. Okay, so Reish Sameches Yud Zayin. Chayav and Kol Tzibur Lishma Bracha Zu Mipi HaShliach Tzibur. The entire Tzibur has to hear the bracha of Mein Sheva from the Shliach Tzibur. Lo Yidabu Kol, they should not talk. Kam B'Shas Miras Vaychulu Asu Daber. Also the time of Vaychulu they should not speak. But an individual should not say the bracha Mein Sheva. It's only for Shliach Tzibur when there's a tzibur corresponding to the shots. Then tzibur says Magen Avos until Zech Masay B'Shis. The aim is that bracha. It's not a bracha. It's a tefillah, but inside of the brachos. Wow, that's a big finish. Wow, amazing. Got that? Not to say Magen Avos. The Arukh HaShulchan says Minik Nachon not to say Magen Avos. Obviously, not different minhagim, but that's the one he upholds. He goes on to say, Yachid who says davening not b'tzibur v'adesh elo my bracha zu, so he should not say Mein Sheva. Last night the pain was still significant. I didn't go to shul, did not feel well, so I did say Magen Avos, even though I didn't say the bracha Mein Sheva. Okay, but so he says Ein Mochen B'Yado. It's not around to be Mochen against me anyway, but Ein Mochen B'Yado. Well, it's going to up tzibur elabes aknesa base medish kavua over minyan kavua. Also, the whole Mein Sheva is only made to say in a base knesses or a fixed base medish or a minyan kavua. How Spalim Shamakar the Dam there on occasion come over base chasanim, such as where there's a Sheva brachos or base Avedim by a Shiva house. See Bacheres another reason cloud. They don't say it all. This became an interesting issue during COVID year when there are many Friday night minyanim in houses and places which became kavua, and many of these places did say Mein Sheva, many places didn't. According to them, Arukh HaShulchan, if it's a minyan kavua, even though it's not a shul, but since it was done week after week after week during COVID, it would have been the proper to say Mein Sheva in that place. I assume once a chazaka of at least 3 weeks is established, but maybe even from the beginning, if you're planning having it l'orach yomim v'shonim, l'orach yomim at least. Back to Arukh HaShulchan, b'yeshim Magen Avos ad zech l'maseh b'reshis, like you just mentioned. And we don't protest against them, like you just mentioned. Like you just mentioned, it's not the Ikar again, he was talking about, there's a shul, but he was talking about also in a min kavua. I'm sorry, base chasanim. Some people say it, but there is no time for reach to say it. What he does not say, however, is that in fact, by chulu should be said. I'm not sure it doesn't say it. In other words, even in an individual house where it's not min kavua, one should say by chulu, at least if one has a tzibur, to say there's any of Eigus B'Tzibur, to say by chulu, to have 10 people. And again, according to those who mock me, even in the case of 2 people, so then certainly you say by chulu even with 2 people. But for some reason, he doesn't bring that down. I don't know why. Anyway, so it says, okay, now he throws in a monkey wrench. The Shreik Nesagdaila. That's only when there's a Min Kavua Sefer Torah, which I don't know what has to do with Friday night. We say, we love lo yomru. If not, you shouldn't say it. And somebody says bracha Torah. So he just changed this whole just changed because before he said you could say Omer Kavua. But just not Margaret's telling him Shama cry. But here it makes a major chiddush. That's not from the Shrek that's the Gdolus in Akron. That if there's no Sefer Torah there, you don't say Mein Sheva. Okay, it's a big chiddush, but this is Safek brachas or by side, and so brachas yakni mekel. Wow, let's see what else he says here. Vamra have a bracha levatala. Chiddush mekom shomich achakad sholim mizmor David shomich chatikad shbarchu, and this which is nusach sfar. V'gam say ein el memina kavua kamo b'birchas magen avos. Also, it's made to tarry. V'yesh toim b'zeh v'tzorich lazira malzeh. Not to do it. It brings brackets here. He says, there's no mechaf, they say. They are going to well, with this sif, my entire perspective of Man Sheva has been wiped out from beginning to end. Even in Minyan Kavua, you don't say, unless it's a Sefer Torah. I want to be davening in shul, davening room, and there's no Sefer Torah. According to Arukh HaShulchan, maybe you don't even say about Mein Sheva in that case. If you daven the weekday davening, you didn't mention Shabbos, or Shlo Yispal Klal, you didn't daven at all. Pasuk Rabbeinu says, "If you gimel dim shom, yashir tzibur with birchas Mein Sheva, me'rosh v'atzof yotzo." But the ever you yotze the Mein Sheva, it's enough of a davening to be yotze davening. Mishnah says, remember before you heard from the Mein Sheva from the Shliach Tzibur, don't rely on it. Daven another time, the normal way. There's only a b'diavad if you heard it, I guess, and had in mind to yotze with it, then you shouldn't daven another Shmoneh Esrei. But if you hadn't heard it, or certainly if you didn't have mind to yotze with it, so of course you should daven another Shmoneh Esrei. The Arukh HaShulchan says Tov l'Orim Mashatz. Arukh HaShulchan, however, doesn't say that. Arukh HaShulchan does not say Mishnah Berurah. He says that this is a form of tefillah b'tzibur, and you say with the shliach tzibur. Okay, and that is we are yotze with that. Okay, there's a very big chiddush. We're on chidushim this evening here. Because tefillas arvis is rishus, and therefore it's such still a rishus to the extent that birchas mein sheva can be instead of marav on Friday night. Wow. Obviously, we hold for most things it's chayva. Come level as kol hagedolim miskimul zeladina. All the dolim consented to this lahalacha, which is a pretty big thing. If you didn't hear from the shots, you should not say it by yourself. In other words, if there is no shul sever, say Mein Sheva, then you should daven a regular Shmoneh Esrei for Friday night, and not say Mein Sheva just by yourself. But Imam Harolalo, if you say Yichidus, but the ever works. The halacha brings the name Elio Rabba. That also, but the ever you're not you'd say, but of course this would be if and when the remote possibility arose that you actually did this. According to Arukh HaShulchan, you're saying there for something brachas, of course, lahaka. Brackets. Shom. The Yesh Mishkas, those who want the Shabbos law have it feels arvis rishus. Those who want the Shabbos feels arvis is not feels rishus, but mandatory. Below Mashkim B'chol was saying doesn't seem away from all our rabbis. Now, why would somebody have a hamid to say this? It says imishim kiddush. Maybe we say because the ikar kiddush is the kiddush in davening. Rekah shal kos doesn't matter. Kiddush shal kos is good enough. If he didn't say Shabbos Shabbos Yontif, Shabbos Yontif lo yiskir Shabbos. According to this Shabbos, which happens on Yontif, a daven Yontif davening, it didn't hear didn't mention Shabbos. The Cholos Moshe Yosem Mishatz Birchas Mein Sheva. This is going back to what he wrote in the halacha itself, that you can rely on the Mein Sheva for the Shabbos part, which you left out of the Tfilas Yontif. Okay, big chiddushim there at the end of Simon Reish Tamches. Simon Reish Tamches, din kiddush beis haknesses. Bisman Shasi Makachi Beis HaKnesses. Time the Gemara they were Makadosh in shuls v'afagav. Then Kiddush Makom Suda. Even though Kiddush is only supposed to be place of the Suda. Nam Bisman Nam. In their days, Chayu Beis HaKnesses Chaladorim Smuchim. There were rooms adjacent to the shul. V'Orchim Mitzuyim Shaman. There were guests who stayed there. Some have a Makom Suda. By them, it was a Makom Suda. Came a Makom She'en Orchim Asmuda Beis HaKnesses and a Kiddush Moel Klal. But if the place where there are no guests, the Kiddush is meaningless. Therefore the Torah shouted at our custom. Shosim Kiddush b'chol b'tei knesios, make Kiddush in all shuls. Why we have a bracha b'tala? Chem John ain't orchem etzleinu. By us it's a bracha b'tala because we have no guests. Ayin sham. Chen kosur b'sein b'alei taisus b'sachim b'zel l'shoinam. Taisus rayvech lek orchim zomach beis HaKnesses ein l'kadesh. With no guests nearby, don't make Kiddush. To have a bracha b'tala, chem kishmul, ain't Kiddush on Makom Suda. Akal l'shonah, chen kosav arosh, ayin sham. All these people hold it's a bracha l'batala. Like we said. Pays. No. Those are Rabbi Shekosfu. Takana Kvuahi. This is a firm takana. You can't be invited it even when there are no guests around. You still have to make Kiddush in shul. Just like main Sheva, which you talked about last. Simon. That takana is a mishum mazikin. That takana was because of shadim. Ta'ina lo shayach, which is not relevant today. Like we wrote previously. Nevertheless, it's not negated. Hachanami here too. Kenu, so too is same halacha. It's on Rambam. The Rambam, as is well known, would have preferred to get rid of Chazar Sashatz. Word up to him. He responded as follows. It's just like they made an institute Kiddush in shul. Mishum orchim. Because guests in Schaiva Koba Teknios, so when all the shuls were required, even though they had no guests, this is in the Tashbetz is brought down. I'm not sure that I think that's the Lashon of the Rambam. And now he's calling somebody else. I guess now he's calling Tashbetz. No, this is Arukh HaShulchan himself writing. He said, saw somebody who wrote, which is the Bach, that there was no takana kavua for Kiddush Beis HaKnesses. It was only a minute. Shem took on their own. It's not like Chazar Sashatz and Brachos main Sheva. They decided in your land, Miloshan Shas Sham. Arukh HaShulchan says to me, it seems quite explicit from the language of the Shas. Shmuel Lama Li Kiddush Beis Knishta. According to Shmuel, why did he make Kiddush Beis HaKnesses? Mashum Shta Takana Kavua. So it seems like it was a takana kavua. He looked, if not, have the Mifrach Lama Shavkin Lo Kiddush Beis Knishta. If it wasn't a takana kavua, it wasn't set in stone. Why didn't they ask? Like they asked by they should have asked. Why did we allow them to make a Kiddush in shul? Right? Suppose of Lamali, we should ask Lama Shavkinan. Not why do I need it, but why do we allow them to do that? The Rashi writes, the Mikartiknu Kash Beis HaKnesses. Primarily, because of guests. The Kaddish Ben Ik Orchin Ben Lake Orchin, and according to make the Kiddush whether guests or not, to me the Brachos Mein Sheva, just like the Bracha Mein Sheva. Ta-da! But because of Sham, he also wrote the Zel Machlokes is Sheina Ben Avos Olam's ancient Machlokes. If I go and Rabbi Yitzchak even gas, Mina Osim like Orchin, they say no guests, no shul, no Kiddush. For Rav Nachshunoi Min Amatirim B'Mo Chevel Neviim. Rav Nachshunoi and a whole slew of prophets. Amatir Kar Pashto Rock Moitzad, and the Psak has gone like Rav Nachshunoi gone. Chenkasava Magi Mishnah Berachov Testin Chesa Mashikos of Rambam Lo Mekadosh Beis HaKnesses Neorchim Chuliyah Kal L'Shono. Kasava Magi Mishnah Achshav Chuliyah Avot B'Shein Orchim Ochlim. Here comes the punchline. Says Magi Mishnah, if she should cave and Shenit Kan Lo Zoza Takona Mikoima Akal L'Shono. Once it's a takana, it's takana. It don't move from its place. Kim of Rosh Hashanah Rabbeinu Yonah, because of the Kiddush Makom Suda Ein Elamid Rabbana. Kiddush Makom Suda is only the Rabbana, and Avim Minatzor Yatzkam Lo Makom Shlo Makom Suda Midaras Yotzi Im Shlo Makom Suda. Kim Sheish Min Adam She'ein Yodim Kadesh. Since their people don't know how to make Kiddush at home, Mutam Shishmu Beis HaKnesses, best is in Shul, Yotzim Nechavasan Minator Kopanim, at least Yotzim Midaraisa. Ayin Sham. Zelo Nichol Rava Poitzkim. That doesn't work according to most poskim. Hasor Min Kiddush Ein Elam Rabbana hold Kiddush on wine. It's anyway Rabbanan. Mitzvah and Tefillah Midrash Yetzi anyway Tefillah. Once time seeing Reish Ein Aleph. King Gamle Elowain Toeles. These people also don't have an advantage. The mina Torah lo yotze with tefillah mirabana emo toelos. So in the Torah there already yotze. Mirabana doesn't work because it's not makam suda. Im lo shnamat toelos sulo esim shlo yispalu gamkin. That's to say, the advantage of the people who also have not davened. V'achshav eno motzui. That's rare people find people who haven't davened. But maybe Rabbeinu Yonah knows Kiddush on one as the Raisim soon Reish Ayin Aleph. He's bar b'deb siyata d'ishmaya. It's not too far off. Dalet Rabbeinu b'seitz kasam nogin l'kadosh b'beis haknesses. Minhagos make Kiddush in shul. Ve'en mekadosh lito mi'en Kiddush el matim l'kotan. Minhagos that the mekadosh is not drinking the wine. He gives it to a child to drink. They Kiddush on Makom Suda because our prior Kiddush on Makom Suda. This Kiddush only made primarily for guests. Even though now there are no guests, that goes no longer still exists. But it's best not to institute the minhag, and that's the minhag in Eretz Yisrael, not to make the Kiddush in shul, which is a very strange thing. If it holds takana in the same sentence to say don't institute the minhag, but evidently the question whether it was a takana is in itself part of the question of the minhag. Says Ashkenaz no gul kaddish. The German minhag is to make Kiddush, and so too chen minhag within Osenu, so too in Eastern Europe. B'chol batei knesses batei midrashos. And now Mitzvah Nusach Sfar lo no gul kadesh. Those dam Nusach Sfar don't make Kiddush. So Rabbeinu Ramon no gul ambo b'shosh makachi beis haknes l'kal. Even though at home we sit down for Kiddush, not in shul. When I forgot the Bais Makachi Mim, you shook much Kasub, say Reish Ein Af, like going to see in Reish Ein Af, you sit down and hold your Kiddush, Tamina Lu Kaddish Yushaf, come basic that's Kachi Mum, nevertheless in shul, you Kaddish standing up. A time, why? We cover that Tzibor. Interesting, because it's done with Tzibor, because cover that Tzibor, you stand up. So it becomes like a Dovish of Kedusha, that you stand up during it, even though at home you do not. B'zel Shatz HaMekadesh. It says not everybody has to stand up. The Shler Tzibur does, not the local Tzibur, not the rest of the Tzibur. Ken Kosel Levush. The Rabbi says everybody's got to stand. It's a skula for tired knees to stand during Kiddush and Shul. Cool. And the Mishnah also brings that down. Okay. Interesting. It's a skula to get weak in the knees. No, chas v'shalom. It says I don't know. I think people do have the minhag to stand during the Kiddush and Shul. So I'm not sure it means that we never saw some minhag. And now there used to be people who put the wine Kiddush in their eyes. We don't have such a minhag. And then there are people who do it by Havdalah. I do not. But we're going to have that much later on. Brachos Megillah Beis Mashveh B'zeh Kiddush L'Havdalah. In Brachos it does say that I never understood this properly. Close to 60 years old now and haven't understood. When it says that you lose Morei Naim when you run, and that Kiddush Friday night, and I guess Havdalah also, the Kiddush Havdalah are both machzir that more. I thought it's drinking the wine Kiddush. Here it says supposed to put the wine Kiddush in your eyes. And still we haven't seen that minhag only by Havdalah, but I never realized it before. I'm sure it's in Rashi. I just glossed over it. But I never realized it before. Okay, so I knew every day. Today, lots of new stuff. Hey, you give a taste to a child. Ain't a kamachil issue with them a cotton. It's not like giving something us into a cotton. She's in the conversation, Shimon and Magimel. Daf Isa the Rabban also, you can't be a dime. Even if the Rabban now have to give a cotton. There's no prohibition at all for the child. Unless you achil a cotton below Kiddush. We don't forbid giving the cotton to eat without Kiddush. There's no chinuch to starve a kid in order to teach him not to eat before Kiddush. We have a tanesim, just like a fast days. We're not mechanech a young child. Yesh because some of those who write shenosi kaddish chinuch that you give specifically to a child that hasn't reached the age of chinuch. Minhag today in the shuls where they still make Kiddush is to give lots of children a little bit of the wine. And the time their children haven't reached the age of chinuch. Aber Shema Rashba, because he think dafka ktanim she'ugil lechinuch, they're specifically supposed to give it to ktanim who reach chinuch me'atam shekosavnu. for the reason that we wrote. I guess because there's no Issa D'Rabbanan. Don't say a reason why you have to, or just a reason where I don't have to refrain from doing so. But, okay, Mishnah also writes that they gave it to older children. If there is no child in shul, you should go to Kol HaKos, an adult should drink the entire cup. Yismach HaDeh Shebesim Reish and Gimel Shem HaGoinim, Chagam Mikra Makam Suda, V'yochel Le'achol B'makam Acher, Ayin Shom. Shedoyan the Goinim, we're going to see that holds that Kiddush Makam Suda is the Evan even you drink the entire cup of wine. I guess even if it's less than Shir of 2 Revi'as. Or the Makar should drink the entire cup and have in mind to have the Chiyuv of Kiddush with this. And then, not sure what the difference between this eights and the previous eights. But basically, I should basically still make Kiddush home for the members of his household. I was saying you call Misha Berach, right? There's people buy wine for Kiddush and Havdalah. Chashin said a mitzvah rabban. They think it's a big mitzvah. Or Rosh Hashanah does not come if it is or isn't. They think it's a big mitzvah. Misha Berach Shabbos HaGres Tov Kol Brachla Misha Nasin Al Kiddush Havdalah Kakosu B'Sidur Mas We just met the Misha Berach. Ein Reish. Hamiras B'Mem Malikin. Aleph Hamil Amar B'Perek B'Mem Malikin. Ishish Bodini Alokas has the laws of lighting candles. Light a social din, and maybe you did it improperly. Now bear in mind, this obviously was placed here in Shulchan according to minhag, which is almost extinct nowadays, to say by Mem Malikin not between Kabbalah Shabbos and Marav, but right before Aleinu in Marav. She leaks when maybe you listen. So this reason is especially difficult because well, it's going to fix it now. It's way too late. The guy in here, sheyesh bo hamishna shlosh dvarim tzarich l'adamar b'so beisa erev Shabbos yichashecha. He started because the never the amira is course out there. He also has the 3 things supposed to remind before nightfall: Meiser, Eruv, and candle lighting. And by saying it, you're going to remember to do that. And of course, for that, it's way too late as well. So the question is now, why would a person possibly say at this point in the evening when it's too late to do anything about it, which we'll come back to in Mir Hashem in the next shir.